Hello farmers and welcome back to Pallegney on Farming Simulator 25, standing in our lovely field of wheat. But how lovely is it? Well, one way to find out, we have activated precision farming on this map. Precision farming came out just a couple days ago. Been using it on the live stream, and yes, there are some glitches with precision farming currently, from what we can tell. But we're going to go ahead and use it here anyways because I want to... they've added a few features to it. And also, you know, maybe learning what they may have changed from 22 over to 25. So the one issue that we have here is, of course, is I can't buy anything brand new. We got to buy it from the used section. So buying a soil sampler just out of the store is not going to work. There's not a used one. So instead of just leasing one and returning it, I think it might be just easier at this point, at least on this farm, to go ahead and just buy the soil samples. So... let me get out of third person, go back into first person. We need to go onto this map here. Get on over to precision farming. So we've already planted a couple of our fields, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens here. If we click on this field here, we want to purchase soil information. It's going to cost $4,200. Man, that's expensive. All right, I mean, maybe it would have been better if I did lease it. Who knows? Oh boy. How much is it going to cost me? $2,100 for that field. We got this field here. Purchase soil information. Yes. We also got... I'm not going to buy it for field number 90, the small grass field. The large grass field, yes, we'll purchase a soil sampling for that. We got our new sorghum field, or it was a sorghum field. We'll purchase the information for that. Oh boy, I can just feel the money going out of my bank account. Wait, did I already buy that one? I think I did. Yes, I did. Scores 57. And we will buy the soil information for this field here. There we go. So now, as we stay in this field, how are we doing here? Nitrogen says it's good. Actually, it's over-fertilized. Lime value is not too bad. So, expected yield in this field where we stand is 80%. Potential, and we're at 77, so not that bad. Depending on the soil, it can go up or down. What kind of good soil do we got? I always forget. Sandy loam, is that good soil? Let's go over to sandy loam. Still yield potential 80. There we go. Yield potential is 100% here, and expected yield is 95%. And maybe, you know what? Let me go ahead and put flight mode on. That way I can run a little bit faster. There we go. So yield potential is 125 and expected yield is 107. It's the pH value, the lime, that's kind of killing me on this part of the field right now. I may go ahead and just leave the fields as they are, the ones that we planted, but maybe when we plant the other ones, they'll get a little bit better. So let's go ahead and start planting some fields and see how we do over here. So this is going to be a canola field, and currently you can see nitrogen level is, well, bad. Well, we haven't planted in here. So the one good thing about precision farming is when I go over it with the drill, it's going to put the correct amount of fertilizer into it that it needs in one pass. So I won't have to go back in and fertilize it twice. So we've been just using digestate to take care of our fields. But now, once I get myself a planter, I kind of forgot. When I logged onto this map, I was like, I own this planter, right? And I went to the sales page or vehicle page. I'm like, no, I got this one leased. No, I bought it on Dark Forest is where I bought it. Let's see. We want this on... Wait, what did I plant in these two fields? Let me just double check. It's been about 5 days since I've been on this map, so I kind of forgot what I did. Let's see. Crop type. I planted wheat and barley. So yeah, I want canola. I think I want canola in these two fields here. And as for the sorghum field, well, I'll figure it out as we go. So let's switch this over to canola. Oh, you were on it and you went right past it. Let's see. Wheat, barley, oats, canola. There we go. All right, lower this down here. Fire this up. And we're off. Yeah, looks like it might be over-fertilized. Okay, not this section. This section's under-fertilized. So yeah, it's going to put it down in one go. So the one interesting thing I'm going to find out here that I haven't been able to test yet on the Dark Forest map is the weeds. So in the FS22 version of precision farming, the best way to get your weed score up to 100 was to use a See and Spot weed sprayer. I don't know what a hoe is going to do to a weed score. I think someone did a test for me when I was on Dark Forest the other day, and I think they said they got it up to 75% score on the weeds. But yeah, really don't. We just can't go buy a See and Spot weed sprayer. I could lease one, of course, but we do own a hoe. So I think when the weeds grow, when we get to the month of October, I'll hoe a field and see what the score gets to. So we may have to add something to our shopping list. I'm not going to go all out and try to get our score up to the like mid 90s, which is what I usually get it up to in FS22 right away. Just getting even a score like in the 60s and 70s would be good because we'll get an environmental score bonus. So when we sell items, we'll get a percentage increase on our sale items. That'll be on top of what we already get at the small farmer's kiosk that is right here across the road, or just down the road here. Yeah, right there. The other thing I'm not sure if it's showing, I remember it's showing in FS22, is the variable speed, not speed, seed rate. So also depending on the soil type, it also depends how much seed it requires. I don't see that showing up. The application rate, that is for nitrogen, I believe. Well, it uses what it uses. Not much I can do about it at this point. So just by getting the soil samples in our fields, that should get our environmental score up pretty decently. Now, of course, for the first year, our field's scores are going to be kind of mediocre because the nitrogen and the pH value are not really read until you harvest the field. So we just went through harvest season, so we got to go a whole year before those actually get read in the field. Won't be until next harvest season. Like I said, it's fine. We will have a decent score. We'll probably get maybe like a 5 to 7% increase in sales because of our environmental score bonus. Alright, get this little piece here. And then we'll go plant canola in the other field. And as for our sorghum field, I don't know, maybe I'll just put wheat or barley in that one. Because now that I know I got this Momentum seed drill leased, I want to return it and not have to worry about it next year. Wonder what else I can plant in September. Maybe we'll have a look at some other crop. Nothing that's going to be like vegetables, root crop, nothing like that. Although I think most root crop will be planted in the springtime. Yeah, the See and Spot weed sprayers, they can be a little expensive. But the thing is, when taking care of the weeds and using herbicide, you don't use a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. Doesn't seem that long ago where I was cutting grass in this field all the time with the AgroStar, a single mower, and then leasing the Windrow baler to go ahead and make grass bales, and of course then wrapping them up to make silage bales. Which, by the way, our grass fields will be ready in the month of October, and so will our silage bales we made in, was it July? Yeah, I think July would have been the month. So next month we should be getting like another $70,000 or so by selling our, not selling our silage bales, but putting our silage bales into the BGA. Now the one thing I want to save up the money for in our bank account, of course, is for a harvester, fingers crossed. I don't need a harvester now until next year, of course, but definitely getting one would be good. But we gotta make sure it's at least the case, axial flow. A combine with about 400 horsepower is what we need to run the header that we got. And this field is done. Well, it's done planting. So now if I get in the field, we can see that the nitrogen is reading perfect. So you can over-fertilize your fields with precision farming. That's what kind of happened in the field above us. But that was before we activated precision farming, so it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm going to go plant canola in the other one. As for the sorghum field across the river, well, I could plant barley, I can plant canola, a cover crop, nah, grass, of course not. I mean, I could do mustard, but that really doesn't do us no good. So then the last one's going to be wheat. So it's wheat, barley, or canola. I think I'll probably plant barley in the other field. So, yep. I'm going to go over and, where's the other, my other field's right there. So I'm going to plant canola in that one. We'll zip across the river, and over there we can kind of see the lime in the sorghum field. That one I'll switch over and plant barley. So let's go ahead and turn on some tunes and get these fields drilled. And then we can probably move on to the month of October. And we'll keep our fingers crossed on the sales page. And also, there'll be time to take care of our grass fields. And definitely, I want to have a look at the weeds first, probably. And see what the hoe does for a rating on our fields for precision farming. But anyways, first things first, canola and barley field. Let's get these planted. Down to our last few passes in this field with the barley, and we'll be all set. I have noticed, because I didn't get a chance to see it on my live streams on the Dark Forest, because it's all land, it's all forest. The only fields are my own. But yeah, I can see where the other farmers with precision farming have put in their tram lines for when they go spray the crops later on. I'm not going to be doing tram lines because I don't think I really need it for what we do on our fields. So tram lines, I'll kind of show you here in just a bit once I get done finish planting this barley. But basically the tram lines is where you're going to want to go with your tractor when you're spraying the fields after you plant. So basically what will happen is when you go, and you got to activate it before you plant your fields, because if I understand it correctly, when you plant your fields and you set up the course, it'll ask you the tram lines, how wide between the tram lines you want it to be the same width as your working implement. So if your implement is a 28 meter wide sprayer, you want your tram lines that far apart. Let me go ahead and get in the air so you can kind of see where this farmer put in his tram lines in his field for when he sprayed. But did no good because he didn't harvest his oats to begin with, as we know. But tram lines, I don't need them because I should be using narrow tires. Unless narrow tires are not going to really work with precision farming and so on and so forth. Even though I just put down the lime in this field, we can see the lime is actually bad in this field. That is funny. So, yeah, depending on the soil type, it's going to require more lime than what I actually put on it for the base game. Interesting. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and deal with the lime for 1 year. I'll probably spray it or spread it next year. Now, my overall scores should be going up because with tillage, I've been doing a direct drill. So we can see my score, like in these fields, is 62. So with soil sampling and tillage, those are the bottom two lines. Those are 100%. Of course, pH, nitrogen, and weed control, those are at 50. Scores 50 in that field because I haven't done anything on those fields. You can see the field I drilled over here. Soil sampling's at 100%, but since I drilled it before I activated precision farming, it doesn't know I drilled the field with a direct drill, so the tillage score is at 50. That's fine. Wait, do I own something over here? Why is this at 50? What do I own? Oh, 254. That's going to be the peripheries, the forest. Yes. All right. So that's okay. What is my overall score? My overall score is 59. So right now, your environmental score increased your sell price by 3%. So you'll get the 3% bonus as you sell things. Kind of like the small farmers kiosk where you get the bonus. When you check the sales page, if it says something sells for 1,000, that's before the 3% increase on the environmental score bonus. So, what's the little farmer's kiosk? Is it 20%? So right now, I would be getting like a 23% bonus when I sell things. As for the grass fields, I probably going to have to re-drill those. So maybe I should keep the drill another month. Because in order to get a good score on the grass fields, I'm going to have to re-drill them. Yeah, so I'm going to have to re-drill my grass fields because the score is 57. Doesn't know what I drilled the fields with. Maybe this will be the last time I cut this grass field, and I'm going to paint it all in with gravel, and that will hopefully get rid of this terrible score in this field. That will, because that's 50, which is lower than my overall score of 59. So that may jump it on up. Anyways, all of our fields are planted. We're going to get weeds. Like I said, I'm going to do the weeding with a hoe this year and see what that does on individual fields for the score. Who knows? I might get it up to 100. I don't know. But I was told it will not do so. Speaking of the sale page, I did not check to see what's in for sale. All right, so a bio baler for wood chips, a header trailer, and that is a windrower, which I do not need any of that stuff. So, oh yeah, I do got the plow. Is there any plowing contracts? I probably should have looked. No plowing contracts. So yes, like I said, it's been about 5 days since I've been on this map, so I kind of forgot what... I knew roughly where I was, but as for the minor things like... I don't have any contracts outstanding, do I? No. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get until the evening hours. And check the sales page once again. And one thing disappeared, and the other two are still there. All right. Let's go to bed and wake up. It's going to be October. Yeah, we'll wake up at 8. That's fine. Don't know what time the bales in the shed are going to be ready, but probably somewhere around noon, I would assume. Yep, grass fields are looking good. Sale page Oh, now you give me... Well, you know what? I need it. I'm going to need it. I can't believe it came up for sale the first day. It's only $8,400, so yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Yep, buy that. I'm hoping the modded ones come out. So if you don't know, in FS22, there's modded ones of the Scout. So that takes soil samples, and it will do a bigger range of an area. All right, so now the question is, per field of weeds, I wonder what the hoe is going to do. So with precision farming, we scroll on in. We'll do this field right here first. Oh, that's right. I was like, why is this lower? Because I planted it before. So weeds is the third one, right? Nitrogen, pH, weeds, soil, tillage. So the third one. So we're going to go ahead and just take care of the weeds. We'll use the AgroStar for this. Because why not? Oh, is there any, since I woke up, any plowing contracts first thing in the morning? No plowing contracts first thing. Wait, what was that for 10,000? Cultivating. No, we'll pass on that. Because I'm going to need my tractor for cutting the grass. Let me just make sure, because I don't have narrow tires, if they changed the way crop destruction works. So no, I really don't need tram lines in my field. I was wondering if they added crop destruction in the first stage with precision farming to encourage you to try to get tram lines. So we got a lot of weeds to take care of, as you can see. How much would it be if I want to lease it for the day? See and spot weed sprayer. Now, you got the John Deere ones, which is the one they're going to advertise for precision farming, because when precision farming came out, it was pretty much paid for by John Deere back in 2019, in FS19. And so, yeah, there's that. But I think I can get it. That says Weed Seeker. Weed Spot Spraying. So 34. If I were to lease that, that would only cost $32.69. That's not bad. But I want to try out the hoe. See what I get for a score on the field. If it doesn't get up to 100%, maybe I will lease. Maybe. Do I want to? I mean, it's a wider working width too. It's not going to use that much herbicide. Well, let's test it on this field anyways. Since this score in this field is not going to be one of the best, but it'll be pretty decent. Oh yeah, we're also going to have to keep our eye in the fields next to ours to see what they plant in them for next year. Because if I don't spend my money by next spring, if we don't get lucky by getting ourselves a harvester, we'll probably buy more fields. More fields, this means more crops. More crops means more profit. Yeah, so unfortunately, if this... Oh, what's going on up here in front of us? Looks like someone's in the wrong lane somewhere. Well, I'm going to create a huge traffic jam doing this. Because they're not going to disappear while I work around here. But this is the one thing. If the hoe doesn't get our field up to 100% on the weed side of the score, it's going to be kind of disappointing, because that means the hoe is kind of useless to us. Unless, you know, I'll keep it for doing contracts, I guess. Man, do I get weeds all across the entire field with precision farming in FS25? So you can see I drilled this field before precision farming. You can see a lot of weeds there. And now you can kind of see in the field across from us the amount of weeds there. I actually probably notice it quite a bit on this page. So yeah, I drilled this field before precision farming. You can see all the weeds. A field I drilled after precision farming. You can see how spotty the weeds are. Before precision farming drilling, and it's with the same drill, and after precision farming drilling with weeds. So a lot less weeds. I mean, you still got weeds. You still got to take care of them. But that's where the See and Spot weed sprayer comes in handy. It's only going to spray where the weeds are, so you're not going to use a whole lot of herbicide. But I want to do this one field with a hoe. If the hoe gets it up to 100%, then we'll just keep on continuing taking care of the weeds with the hoe. But if not, yeah, we'll have to get ourselves a sprayer, because the better score means, you know, better price on sales, which means more money. And who wants to turn down more money? Soon we will find out together what a hoe does for weed score on a particular field. And I was told it'll get it up to 75% out of 100, so we will see here very shortly. So it's good to see that the weeds are, with precision farming, not everywhere in the field. It's kind of reduced a little bit. Does seem like they have adjusted on how that looks in 25, because in 22 it was sporadic, but you still had some thick patches here and some bare spots there on the weeds. But it seems like it's just more thinned out in 25 with precision farming. Kind of weird that it does matter when he planted a field. Don't know if I covered a small section here. Yeah, it's kind of weird that it matters when you plant the field, I guess, with precision farming, not when the weeds actually go, because we didn't have any weeds technically growing. Well, they were growing, but they weren't showing. And by sleeping overnight, yeah, we can see definitely the difference between the fields as I showed earlier. All right, let's see what our score is in this field for taking care of the weeds. That's the third one down. Precision farming. Yeah, I got up to about 75%. So that's the third bar down. As you can see here, it goes nitrogen, which is fertilizer, pH value, which is lime, weed control, which is how you get rid of the weeds, soil sampling, which, you know, soil samples, easy, and tillage is, as long as you plant a field with a direct drill or planter, that would get it up to 100%. Soil sampling, that number will go down. I think you have to soil sample every 3 harvests. And, of course, weed control, nitrogen, and pH value are all self-explanatory. So, yeah, hoe does not get your weed score up to 100%. So, I'm going to drop off the hoe. And I guess I'll lease a See and Spot weed sprayer. Now, I can take care of the score in this field still, even though there's no weeds in there. Well, it worked in 22 anyways. But if I go in the field just for a second, turn on the See and Spot weed sprayer, it should detect that I use the See and Spot weed sprayer in that field, and then it'll detect there's no weeds in the field, and it should jump the score up to 100. That's the way it worked in 22, because that's what you had to do to some grass fields to get the score up. Because, of course, yeah, grass fields do not get weeds. I would assume it's going to work the same way for rice fields, because rice fields are treated like grass fields. So, yeah, the cheapest sprayer. Let me just see what this is. So, that's kind of weird. This is called the See and Spray on the John Deere. But maybe that's a John... Oh, yeah, trademark. So, that must be a John Deere trademark, See and Spray. So, that's why on the base game ones, they call it the PTX Weed Seeker 2. With this configuration, each nozzle of the sprayer will only turn on while there are active weeds below the nozzle. With that, you may use 90% less herbicide, reducing cost and protecting the environment. And that is what the precision farming is all about, is environmental score bonus. Yeah, let's go ahead and lease that. All right, up to the store. And I'm going to need very little herbicide for all the fields. Maybe 1,000 liters will cover it all. Might as well stay right in the agro star because I can manage it. So got a lot of prep to do when switching over to precision farming to get the fields going in the first year. But after that, it may seem like a lot of work if you've never done precision farming before. The process of getting the fields all prepped for precision farming, soil sampling, because you got to do every field that you own, and then taking care of all the fields. But in the long run, I feel it's less work per season in doing precision farming. Now, it's not for everyone because we all like to play the games differently, but I definitely prefer precision farming. I think in 22, after precision farming came out, I think it was all but one or maybe two maps where I did not use precision farming. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. My soil sampler is up here as well. Bought that used. And that is taking your own soil sample, which is a lot cheaper than purchasing it like I did. Oh, I didn't even see that gray car there. Like a little traffic jam here trying to leave the store. But we got all of our fields planted. And again, I kept the momentum planter because I want to replant the large grass fields so our score for tillage goes up. Currently it's at 50, and if I do a direct drill, that'll get that score up to 100. Now, I don't have to drill a grass field every time after I cut it. That score will always stay there in a grass field. Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves some herbicide. You know what? Might as well just fill up to the top. Heck with it. I did lease it with the See and Spot sprayer on there, I hope. I think I selected it. Alright, so again, I'm just going to quickly just turn it on. Shouldn't use any herbicide. But I just want to turn it on. Just for a little bit. And now we'll check our score in the field. Did it work? Ooh, maybe it didn't. Maybe they smartened up on that. Alright. Well, let's get over to this field here. And we'll whip this on. And now we're going to spray for some weeds. I guess the only downside compared to the hose, so you can see the nozzles, you can actually see where it's spraying. It only sprays where the weeds are, and that's it. How this works in real life, I could not tell you. I mean, obviously with sensors and all that kind of stuff nowadays, but not sure how it knows the difference between a weed and a crop. Because, I mean, they're basically they're going to be all green. So I'm going to be curious. I'm actually going to go over and try this on the grass field. Because as I said, grass fields do not get weeds. So if it didn't work in the field next to us, it may not work in a grass field. Now, as I said, there are some, appears to be bugs with precision farming. Really coming down to the lime side of things. Doesn't seem like the line, it will put down the lime, but not it seems like the right amount of lime that's required for the soil that it's on. Or they changed something in the precision farming from 22 to 25, and I do not understand it because yeah, my numbers were just a little bit off on dark forest. So I think so far I've used 8 liters of herbicide. So yeah, not a whole lot. So yeah, this sprayer right here would be my best option on this map. But of course, we can only buy from the used section, so maybe I'll get lucky by leasing it and then returning it later on. And maybe it'll come up for sale. But I guess a wider one wouldn't be bad either. Though 7 miles an hour working speed is not that bad, considering the working width. And we got one little spot right here. So on this field here, I use 11 liters of herbicide. All right, and my score for weeds in this field. So yeah, it did recognize the seed and spot weed sprayer. 100% on the weeds, soil sampling, and tillage is all 100%. Now again, for the nitrogen and pH value, that does not actually get calculated until you harvest the field with the crop in it. So those numbers are going to stay there until we harvest the field next season. And let me go over and we'll dive into the grass field with a seed and spot sprayer and see if that score jumps right up. I wonder if I just am I going to have to go through the entire field maybe for it to actually register? Again, in 22, all I really had to do was just spray for about a couple seconds and then the score would go up. But maybe they changed it to where I actually have to cover the entire field. Again, there's no weeds here, but I'm just trying to get our score up. Is all I'm trying to do. So I got it turned on, and of course it's not going to use anything. Right there, that would have been enough at FS22 to get my weed score up to 100 on a grass field. And yeah, I don't think it did a darn thing. So how would one get your score up higher on a grass field? So, like I said, there are a few bugs. Maybe this is one of the bug things that they're going to fix, or maybe this is the way they want it to work now. In 25, I'm not too sure. I'm just going to go around the field just a little bit more. You can see the farmer across the way. He's got his tram lines in. So when he goes over the field with his sprayers, either to spray it with fertilizer or to take care of the herbicide, he won't damage any of his crops. So basically what it does, as I mentioned, is you got to set it up before you drill the field, and what will happen is the planter or drill will now put seed in where the tram lines will be. So yeah, you're saving your money on your seed, and that way you don't destroy your crop. So on this field here, because this is the one I drilled before precision farming, so I have a lot more weeds in it. So I'm going to use a lot more herbicide, but still not as much as I would have if I didn't have the seed and spot weed sprayer. I'm going to get hitched on that fence, aren't I? Not quite. Did a little bit. But this will raise our score in this field by using this. Again, in the first year, if I can get my score up to like the mid-70s and 80s, actually on Dark Forest, I got it into the low 80s in the first year. So, and I think I got like a 7% bonus. Doing that in the first year is pretty good. Now in FS22, I usually ended up, once I got the farm all situated and everything going, my score usually ends up in the low 90s to mid 90s, and even sometimes up near 100. And usually the bonus goes up to 15% when you sell items. So selling at like the small farmer's kiosk with a 20% bonus and a 15% bonus for a total of 35% bonus, that's huge. Now, of course, another thing that it may do is, because we're getting all these bonuses, is kind of get in the same situation where I was with the goats and the dairy production and making goat cheese, where we just get a whole bunch of money. And, yeah, I can kind of put a damper on the series a little bit sometimes. So maybe in the future on Let's Plays, maybe I'll have to do is we can do precision farming, but not do a small farmer's kiosk, or like on Dark Forest, I'm using the little market, which also gives a 20% bonus, which is a selling point from a mod. I think it's the multi-grain production mod sell point that gives a 20% bonus. Yep, using a little bit more herbicide in this field, but that's expected. It's got more weeds. I mean, it does kind of make sense that the hoe does not get the score up to 100, because I think they want you to use the specialized equipment for precision farming. Although it seems like the hoe is an environmentally friendly implement to use. I would say even more so than spraying herbicide. And I don't know if I got a spot here somewhere. I think I got it all covered, basically. Be nice if I just go to this map. And first of all, yep, weeds 100% taken care of, it says. But we'll go to here. Yep, we get that. I got that little corner there, but that's fine. So I got this field here to spray, and of course this field here to spray. But that's not what I want to get to. I want to get to the grass fields, because that is very important. Get those, get the grass cut, baled up, wrapped up, so they can start fermenting. Soil sampler, I guess, for now, but the soil sampler in front of our planter, which I'll probably never use again. The hoe, like I said, I'll keep that, because that's still going to be good for doing weed contracts. So we'll get this unfolded. So yeah, I didn't see it myself, but what's my overall score currently now? Up to 64, so a 4% bonus on selling items. Want to try to get that as high as I can before I start putting our silage bales through. And of course, we start selling the electricity and methane. I guess now, though, I got my soil sampler by small that grass field, and I said I was going to get rid of it after I cut it down this month. Since now I got the soil sampler, maybe I'll just take some soil samples and keep the grass field until I really decide what I'm going to do with that area. I still plan on, when winter comes, getting the devoured tree implement and getting some wood chips and creating some open space here. Oh, that's the wrong button. Just let me get on here. And we'll get one of the Franks to follow us behind. And they're connected. All right, Franco, let's roll. Working speed, cruising speed is 9, which is good. Mowers can, the baler can only do 10. But even at 9 miles an hour, I tend to go, well, see, it says 9, but I'm going at 10. I tend to be still a bit faster than the baler. So this will change our score in this field because it's got fertilizer in it. I don't know when the last time I had lime in it, so that could be kind of off. Actually, let me jump out and see. Alright, so overall it's not bad. Yield potential is 100%. We're at 98. Oh, because we are way over fertilized in this field. So that's what's probably knocking down my score. The pH value is okay, but I can get that better. Next time we spread lime down, we'll have to touch up the grass field. But this will raise up our score in the field and overall. So there is, some may say, so what's the upside and the downside of precision farming? The yield potential in the field is one thing. So if you got good soil, you can get a potential yield of 125%. But if you got bad soil, then the potential yield can go down to like 80%. So it's kind of good to know what kind of soil is in a field. I wonder, I gotta check something else out. In FS22, you can kind of tell what soil is in the area before you do soil sampling. Let me just go ahead and see if that is the case. And you may be saying, what are you talking about? How can you tell beforehand? If I click on field 84, yes. So you can kind of tell. It already kind of tells you the type of soil is in that area before doing soil sampling. So you can see down here, expected yield potential. This field here is 112% on the average. My grass field, on the other hand, which the score up there is now, oh, look at that. 87 in the grass field. That jumped up my score overall to 70. This field here, yeah, this grass field is not a great field for soil. It's got a lot of loamy sand and sandy loam. So it's a negative, not negative, but it's 84% overall yield. So not the greatest. This field here is 95. This grass field here, so before I do soil sampling, it's a 98%. 105%. I'm trying to see like a really bad field. But a lot of good soil on this side of the map. Let's try this side of the map. A lot of good soil everywhere, it seems. Okay, 92%, 105. Mostly decent soil on this map. Ooh, look at that score. 125% in that field altogether. Interesting. So at least you can kind of click on a field before you buy to get a rough idea of what the yield potential is on the field. But that is, of course, if you take care of it 100% with precision farming. So the key things with precision farming, use a herbicide see and spot weed sprayer So it only sprays where the weeds are. That'll get your weed score up to 100%. The second category is soil sampling. Do it often enough and that'll keep the score up kind of high. Your tillage, meaning as long as you direct drill with a planter or a drill, your tillage score should get up to 100%. And then, of course, if you put lime down every year, and of course, when you plant, it should get your nitrogen score up to 100%. So, and again, you don't have to put down lime every year. Your score's not going to drop that much. So don't worry about it too much. Yeah, I will be re-drilling this field of grass to get the tillage score in this field up. And of course, when I see and spot spray the other two fields with weeds, that's going to get our overall score up even higher. So I'm guessing by the time I get done re-drilling this grass field and spraying the weeds in the other field, our overall score might get up to like 75 or so. I'm not going to complain about that at all for the first year. Well, like usual, I am going to show off. I've been showing off a little grass cutting here at the end, but I'll get the majority of this done. The bale wrapping is what takes time. I'm kind of hoping. I have rented it twice so far, and that's the bale wrapper from Farmer G's selectable bale pack, because that wraps the bales 3 times faster. I would like to see that one come up for sale. The one that we have, we got on day 1 here on Pallegney. I mean, it works. It just takes a while to wrap 48 bales. I think it's like 48 bales I get. Well, maybe not this time, because now with precision farming and the yield difference, I may not get a total of 48 bales. It might be better, it might be worse, but as we just saw, the soil in this field is not the greatest. So I'm thinking I'm going to get less bales. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So yep, we are running precision farming here on Pallegney. Plan to keep it going. Like I said, there's a few bugs with it right now, especially on the lime side, it seems like. Everything else seems to be working as intended, at least as it was in FS22. There are a couple of other things I did not mention, and I don't think I'll be doing it. You can get subsidies from the government as well. If you plant oilseed radish in your field, and you keep the oilseed radish in the field through the month of February, you'll get $200 per hectare. Now, to me, that's not worth it, but it is something, and it may be something you want to do. If you're going for more realism, the tram lines, as you can see in other farmers' field, like right there, if that's something you want to do, you can go ahead and do it, but as long as you take care of your fields in the first growth stage, like normal, you won't get crop destruction. If you're playing with crop destruction turned off, then if you're just doing it for realism, that's fine too. But at least the option is there. And yeah, so maybe I'll learn more as we go on what new things or things have changed. But currently, that's all I can pretty much show you on precision farming here. I know some of you probably are watching the Dark Forest series, so you've seen me do some of this stuff already. But I know some of you are not watching the live streams or watch them afterwards, and you only watch the recorded ones, so you're getting precision farming either way. Either way, you are getting it. So in between episodes, I plan to finish up cutting up this grass field and get the bales wrapped. I'll probably get the other 2 fields weed sprayed as well. But I'll re-drill this field with grass, and I don't know, I may even put lime down. I'm not sure. Probably not until the lime gets fixed. Since the pH value in this field is somewhat okay, I can live with it like that until they get that somewhat sorted out. But anyways, if you made it this far into the episode, which is to the end, congratulations for making it all the way through. If you want to help me out a little bit more, that thumbs up button at the bottom of the screen, you might want to click on that. It's only if you like the video. If you didn't like it, the thumbs down button's there as well. You can hit that if you like to. Well, leave me a comment as to why, but still, no one has done that to let me know why. And yeah, if you're new here, and hopefully you've already done this, you might want to think about hitting that subscribe and notification bell, because you don't want to miss out on more content like this. But that's going to wrap it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Pallegney. But until then, have a good one.